You're watching the Hang Loose Recluse Show.
You sure are.
G'day guys, welcome to the Hang Loose Recluse Show. We've got some special guests out there helping us test out the new phone-in service on our new special live stream device that we have here that allows us to do things
Like this, like turn our voice up.
and then
Turn it down to a different
tone. But anyway, out there we've got Max Freedom, Courage is the Cure, and Scorpion Media Group. How you guys going? So how you been?
Doing excellent, yes. We've just checked in with the Umbrella people this morning.
How'd you go?
Live stream right now.
Yeah, live stream, yes. Hey, sounds like Scorpion. Scorpion Media Group's on the line too. You're all together. You're always all together. You guys don't separate. Thank you.
We are all together, man.
What's happening? Tell us about what's going on. You're on a live stream. You're on a call coming through now.
Okay, well, look, everybody's down here. Was here at the Umbrella Group. Max Freedom, Coverage is Secure, and a group of the usual suspects hanging out at the wall, standing up for freedom against the tyranny which is continuing.
Yeah. So what went on there today? What happened?
Look, better give Richie because he was there most of the time.
Yes, Max Freedom here. So, yeah, we had a decent group turn up today. About, say, 50-odd people coming down to support the Umbrella Group, Umbrella people. And their peaceful standing, they're not stalking. They know nothing about these claims of stalking. They haven't been given any further information. They're just standing there as peaceful citizens standing to speak to their governor with a concern they have for the Premier of Western Australia, Mr. Mark McGowan, due to the economical, psychological and economical harm he's causing the people of Western Australia. They're asking for the governor to step in and stand up for their rights. I mean, you've even got WA Today making articles about how McGowan infringed on human rights in terms of its COVID measures. So you've got the mainstream even agreeing that he has impeded on people's rights. Now, is that okay? That's the question. Is that okay?
Yeah, about time the media started questioning him, actually. About bloody time, eh?
Exactly, about bloody time. So, yeah. So people come on down if you're listening and you've got a concern with the McGowan government. There are people there at the Umbrella Group Government House every day. You, as an individual citizen, have the right to stand there. You can choose to stand there if you want. It's up to you. That's your right.
So no hassle today from the law?
No hassle from the police. One of an individual engaged conversation with one of the officers, and they explained that there's no stalking, no investigation of stalking today, no move on orders to be given. There were no concerns at all. So, yeah, stalking during the week, not stalking on the weekend, perhaps.
Yeah, well, the more they keep pushing back, like the way they're doing it illegally, like taking away the civil liberties of the people, the more it's going to make the law look like absolute idiots, which they already do. So I think there's got to come a point where they're going to have to sit down at a round table and say, hey, should we be continuing to hassle these people who have every right to be there? It's ridiculous.
Exactly. They're actually, one could say they're abusing their power because are they there for an investigation? Are they taking it seriously, or are they there just using that as an excuse to move people on? You would assume if they're acting in their duty, taking a concern of stalking seriously, they'd be there investigating and conducting it professionally, but it doesn't seem to be the case. For example, during the week stalking, today not stalking. So is it an abuse of police power? One could make that argument.
Yeah, I called it the other day, but I'm Hang Loose Recluse. I can call it as I see fit. Thank you.
I'm sorry, but I'll have to talk over you.
What an absolute pig of a human being. It's interesting to see that that you guys aren't backing down and you're still there, heading there every day, and good that you guys are covering it as well. So great footage and great coverage from you there, Richie, as well, Max as well.
Thank you. There's also another lovely lady here, Courage is the Cure.
Oh, g'day, Courage is the Cure. She also does the channel, guys, and she sometimes comes along to the Hang Loose Recluse channel and comments. So if you haven't seen Courage is the Cure on YouTube, check her out. She does some good informative videos as well. So is she able to have a chat?
How you doing, Hang Loose? I'm right here. How you going?
G'day, good. Welcome to the Hang Loose Recluse live test practice show. This is the first phone call that I've put out there with the new device that I'm using, and good to see you've been doing some great work down at Umbrella. Have you got anything to add to the events that are unfolding down there?
Well, it was great to see. There's about 40 people on the wall there this morning, so that was really good. We had people on both sides of the street. The cops were very disinterested when, the cops were very disinterested when Stuart was trying to get some information from them today.
Yeah.
Whether or not we were stalking, whether or not he was going to get a move on notice. But they did say that nobody would be getting one today. So sorry about that.
Well, one thing I've noticed is the police, when it comes to talking to non-controlled media, they are like seashells. They clam up.
Yes,
They can't
Max
speak.
Freedom back here. Yeah, you're right. Max Freedom here. Coach is just on a call. But yeah, you know, they're there. And even the other day, as an independent media myself, I had one of them engage me, blocking me, saying, well, if you're media, you need to speak to police media.
Serious. Yeah.
I don't know what that's about.
It's all about controlled story, mate. That's what that is. All that means is controlled.
Yeah, well, then Max Freedom is only out there covering things that are in the public interest.
Yeah.
So
Events as they unfold.
I don't see any need for Max Freedom to be engaging with police media. As for their approval as such, I wouldn't think that'd be necessary.
Contrived stories.
The approval is given by the people. If the people didn't like the coverage, the public interest, they wouldn't be watching. They wouldn't be subscribing in their thousands. Today, currently, Max Freedom over 75,000 views on the channel. So
yeah, it's good to see you've been booming there, bro. You're in boom time, that's for sure. With good coverage, mate. I actually enjoy stealing your work. Thank you.
Oh, that's fine. That's fine. It's all the public domain. You're welcome.
Yeah, so if you hang loose recluses out there will know that I've done a few videos of some of Max's work and the Umbrella people down there. So that's good to see the camaraderie there, that Max is okay with all that stuff. And you know, he knows that we all do our thing, and it's all about sharing it and putting it around, putting the word out there. Definitely. The more we do it, the more they're going to be held accountable in future as well. So all this stuff will be looked back upon. Even now we're looking back at what was going on a year ago, and you just look at it and you just think, what the hell has become of humanity?
Exactly. You know, so it's the old divide and conquer tactic. You know, so that's playing out and in real time. So it's just what's next?
Yep.
What's the next innings going to be about? Is the question.
The evolution of communism is what it feels like. I don't know whether we should say that, but it feels like the evolution of communism, and those in line with what I just said will know and probably agree with that, because that's the way it's heading. It's heading down a fine line of control, that's for sure.
Authoritarianism, you know, all the isms.
Well, in saying that, last night on the way home, I heard a guy from the WA Justice Association. I put a post on my Telegram page, WA Justice Association. He had a 10-minute chat with Oliver Peterson from 6PR.
The concern really is the lack of independent oversight, firstly. Traditionally, powers like these are subject to judicial review, so the courts are able to review them. Police would usually have to apply for orders of this nature. These orders are very unique. It's the first time they've been introduced anywhere in Australia. And traditionally with punitive powers like this, the police have to apply to the courts so that there is an independent body monitoring it to make sure that the use of power is appropriate. So it can be applied to people who are acting in an offensive manner, which is very vague. That's not defined in the Act. So it's really up to the police to determine what's offensive and whether that offensive behaviour justifies imposing an order. And finally, really, is the Police Commissioner's power to create guidelines that determine the types of behaviour that justify a person being issued an exclusion order. Those guidelines are an internal document. Tony Booty is refusing to make those public and has stated that they won't be subject to freedom of information legislation. So really, the public, we won't know what behaviours justify the police issuing these exclusion orders or how the power to issue exclusion orders will be exercised by police. And there's just simply no good reason for that. We, as the public, have a right to know. and there's just no good reason for that.
No. So what's the secrecy around this, do you imagine, Tom? And why are we as the public kept in the dark if there's not going to be any independent oversight and you can't simply ask to review those guidelines or have some sort of an understanding as to why they're going to be put in place or what powers the police have? Why wouldn't we provide the general public with this level of information? Jim says the fact that none of us are entitled to even know what is allowed is of double concern.
And it's very interesting what he's saying. I'm actually going to release it as a full video on YouTube, so I'll release that soon. Interesting indeed, because even they're talking about how the abuse of police powers with the McGowan changes, how they're just going over the top, and there should be a jurisdiction overseeing it rather than giving them the powers to just take over, you know, and that's what's happening. So it's pretty wrong.
Exactly. You're right. Yeah, so this is where we are, January 2023, and the battle continues.
Well, good to see you out there, guys, and good work there, Max Freedom, Courage is the Cure, and Scotty from Scorpion Media Group. Yeah, absolutely awesome, and thanks for being part of the first phone conversation on a Hang Loose Recluse live stream with the new bloody device. I really appreciate it.
Pleasure. Anytime.
All right. Well, thanks for coming, guys, and 53 minutes onwards. Check it out later on. Thanks, Max. Take it easy, brother.
Take it easy. Thank you.
Cheers, mate. Catch ya. All right. Well, that was Max Freedom out there, guys. That was pretty good to have Max tuned in and have a bit of a conversation and test out this device. So I'm sure you've heard that conversation. I got a message on the screen to confirm that he was being heard. Paul just said he just subscribed to Max Freedom. Hello, HLR, and hello to Max Freedom. I'm a Scorpion too. All right. So there you go. And don't forget, there's a couple of others in WA as well. We've got Freedom Media WA and the Bellman Report. Check out Andrew from the Bellman Report. He does a podcast as well, the 8 News Show on Podbean. So check all that little stuff out. Max was actually on a podcast with Andrew from the Bellman Report just a few weeks back. So if you can get over onto the Bellman Report, check that out. See, now as being Mr. Official type of, podcaster, just for the crowd out there, now I can go back to being an idiot, because I will snippet that out and make a separate video of just that conversation. So I do appreciate Max being a test case for the phone call situation. So really looking forward to having general conversations with people as we go live and just do random things. Thank you. Yeah, absolutely brilliant. I should have put the pitch shift
On so Richie could hear my voice in the chipmunk style. And I'll turn it up even more. That's the real chipmunk there. G'day, guys.
Thank you. Obviously, there's only 2 people out there.
You're watching the Hang Loose Recluse Show.
You sure are.
Yeah, you've been watching the Hang Loose Recluse Show.